Before we wrap up, Square Enix has one more update for us today. They're hard at work on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the ambitious follow-up to the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy VII
we're going to show you something
remake.
else. Can you imagine?
Let's see what's in store for one of next year's most anticipated
Yes!
games.
Yes, let's.
Yes!
Oh my god,
Finally
we're
get
getting
something
it.
decent.
We're getting it, guys.
The world's ending. At least, that's what everyone's saying.
This sky, I don't like it.
Ready to fight,
Tuna.
Tuna.
Welcome to the New World Order.
It's the parade.
It is.
We're going to be doing the whole...
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, look,
God.
there he is doing the...
Eyes and
Oh,
listen.
doing the military
Tell
stuff.
me you can't hear that.
Cosmo Canyon.
rallying cry.
Oh, look at this.
Planet runs out of energy. It and everything
What's
on
that
it
ship in the background?
dies.
We can overcome our fate.
Am I the same as these monsters?
Oh, this is the
Am
flashback.
I even human?
Okay, we're looking for Sephiroth. Think you can find him?
Oh,
Cait Sith.
you see. So you heeded the call too, did you?
Oh,
What are you talking about?
As you can
Buggy, get the buggy, and a
my
black
God.
chocobo, and a green chocobo.
A flying one. It was flying. Oh my god,
Our
we're
best
on a
chance of finding
Fucking,
Sephiroth.
is that a segue thing?
segue.
I asked
Forgot the word.
because I suspect there's soldiers suffering from cellular degradation.
Who's he?
do not be
Is that-
deceived.
Wait.
You
Is
know
that Medeal?
the truth. Trust in me.
Oh, is that the Midgar Zolom?
Come on!
Not sure.
Oh, this is all looking really, really good though.
On me.
What?
Oh, and is that
Oh,
them fighting
the
together
Midgar-
in the
Is it the Mithril Mines? No.
Nibelheim?
Wait,
Mount-
hang on.
Mount Nebel.
What's that? What's that we just saw?
Oh, whatever it is, it looks fucking. And these are summons.
Yes, I was just. Is it?
It's Odin, that
Is
is.
that Alexander, the other one then?
Gold saucer! Gold saucer!
Oh my god!
Oh my god, this looks awesome! And they've actually got a mini game!
Chocobo racing! Fuck yes! Oh, look how they've
Oh,
kept it.
love it.
Oh
Excuse
my
me.
god.
Could you look after my friend? Just for a
It's
bit.
in the first one.
Yes, that's Ciarra, that is. But what on earth is going on? Because obviously that's the whole, like, converging.
She's in the live stream.
Creatures, said only to appear when the planet is in grave danger.
Who dares disturb
Vincent!
my sleep? It's upon us. The reunion. When worlds merge. I'm waiting, clown.
Worlds merge.
Oh, I'm coming.
Worlds
Bloody
merge.
hell.
February 29th! On 2 discs! We've got a release date!
Right, get it in the fucking calendar.
Pre-order starts.
Oh my god.
We hope you enjoyed that new look at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh yes, thank
coming
you
to
very
PlayStation
much
5 on
indeed.
February
Sweating. Oh my god.
And
Right,
that's all for State of
29th.
Play. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
It's 2 discs, guys. They didn't even put Final Fantasy 16 on 2 discs.
Nope.
And this is a part of a game.
This is the
That's nuts.
second part of the game. How huge is that going to be? Because the weapons stuff, I'm sure you don't find out about that until a lot later.
The weapon stuff?
We're talking about weapon, you know, the weapons.
Were they talking about weapons?
There was a bit there where Tifa was talking about the weapons in terms of like the monsters that will come out.
You say they didn't talk about that later. Because in the original game, Ruby Weapon was there, but I think you couldn't access it. You know, in the little desert bit after your Gold Saucer, you could see Ruby Weapon, I thought. But you're in the buggy, or until you get the buggy, you can't actually go on the bit where
Weapon doesn't appear until
Is that right?
a significant, very significant event occurs. I'm just choosing my words carefully because obviously
Okay,
those who
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know
True.
the story.
Yeah, true.
But Weapon, when they start talking about that, I'm sure that's like quite far into the game, like
Was it-
potentially even disc 2.
Was it the 29th?
29th of February, yes.
That is going to be a day off.
The kitty character is Cait Sith. Quick man, and that is all I'm going to say.
FF7 Rebirth release date.
Well, that's it. Hello, Munchie. You've decided to come along and join us. Did you hear us making all the excited noises
Okay.
about about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Well, that has just made sitting through the rest of that stuff completely worth it.
We saw the gold saucer.
We saw the gold saucer.
They've got chocobo racing.
And the motorcycle game.
Motorcycle
and the classic punching, beat 'em up thing. Oh my god. There's loads in that.
There's loads. I feel like we need to rewatch that. Can we find the trailer again? We got a release date for 7 Rebirth. Thank you, Steph, for telling us to watch this, because we weren't going to watch it.
Are we ready to see this once more?
So before we start playing, where is this?
Well, that looks like...
Is this the tower after it's collapsed?
This could well be...
World's ending.
This is Midgar.
The world's
At least
ending.
That's what everyone's saying.
So this is where in the previous trailer they were, it looked like we saw Tifa dead on the stretcher.
Yeah.
This is after the pillars collapsed, I think, isn't it? Hang on, no.
We don't know what it is, though. That's the thing. We saw it, and I don't think there was any sort of indication of what the event was that caused it. But yeah, it's the thing that was said later on. Sephiroth said something along the lines about worlds converging, I'll be here sort of thing. So I don't know whether that's talking about the whole different timelines thing that they're suggesting. Because obviously Zack is not alive in the...
There we go.
Ah, right. Were you not actually on the right screen?
No.
Right, okay. We're now on the right screen, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Should we just watch?
Yeah.
The sky, I don't like it.
The Dune and Cannon, that's pretty epic to see.
Welcome to the New World Order. Fire!
I love the fact that we're doing that.
So hang on. Can we go back to the parade bit? Change formation, commands menu. Are we going to have to do that mini game that you do in the original then?
It looks like it, based on what we're seeing there.
Did anybody actually manage to successfully fall into line when you were meant to? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I know.
You had to basically, for those of you who don't know, you had to basically try and join the ranks of marching, but you were slightly late, so you had to sort of blend in.
Yeah,
I could never do it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just thinking it's a bit of a giveaway with the massive sword on his back.
Yeah.
Right?
Is it a rhythm mini game? It could well be quick, man.
It could be. Who knows what it's going to be? I hope whatever they've done with it, I hope they've made it a bit more accessible than the last one. Because the last one, it was literally over in a few seconds. It's like,
well, you still
what
had
the fuck?
You had the thing where you had to do the swords swing, the victory swing at the end.
Oh yeah, but that wasn't anything to do with the parade.
It was at the end.
It was a different part, yeah, which is much easier to do. Right. Anyway.
Just close your eyes and listen. Tell me you can't hear that.
Cosmo Canyon looks awesome.
So this, where is this ship? I was looking at that and I was like, I don't...
Well, that's Cosmo Canyon.
Cosmo Canyon, yeah. So, is this... Like, where is this, guys?
I wonder if it's a bit of an environment near Cosmo Canyon, looking at everything, because that looks like Cosmo Canyon up there in the top right.
Do you think?
So maybe they've just put some, like an area where, like, some ships have ended up crashing into the rocks or something like that. It's a bit of a ship graveyard.
Do you think that's Cosmo Canyon?
I think it is, in the top right. Because that looks like Bugenhagen's tower.
True. Yeah.
Although, was it specifically a tower he had as well? But it did go up into...
It did go up like that. Yeah, and I see what you mean about the bottom bit. Looks like it could be. I'm just like, why are there ships? Because...
Well, it's just, I mean, we don't see anything like that in the world map of the original 7, but they're obviously adding a bit more detail. That's my interpretation of it anyway. It's obviously not
because I'm
guaranteed
trying to
be right.
remember the landscape of the mini-map back in the day, and you had like those rope bridges that you crossed, I think, didn't you?
The rope bridges were in Wutai, the Wutai side. There weren't rope bridges elsewhere.
Right. Okay.
But they, of course, they might have redesigned
Guess who's the FF7 fan here? Because I vaguely remember things, and then Sherbs is like, no, that was at this bit. Okay.
No.
No, you're wrong. Hang on, let's just have a look. So we've got Tifa, Aerith, and Cloud.
Yeah, and interestingly, I'm looking at the amount of... Because I wondered how they were going to do this. So, like, obviously, like, you go through the whole of remake, and you will get to a maximum level of maximum 50.
Yeah.
And obviously, stats can, depending on what you do with your sort of setup and things like that, can get into, like, the high 4 figures. I wondered what they would do for Rebirth, like, whether it would effectively be brought back to, like, effectively starting from scratch.
Yeah.
And it looks like they might have done that, because those HP levels are much lower.
Aren't they?
They're like early game sort of levels. So, yeah, maybe they're sort of effectively starting again, like you effectively level up again and nothing carries over, maybe. I suppose it gives you something to work with, but it sort of feels like if you're moving from one part of the story to the next, you want to carry over something.
Maybe. Yeah, you don't want to feel like you're a complete noob again.
Yeah, but it looks like maybe you will
Maybe you will be. Quick man, I love watching people talk about franchises I know nothing about like this, because it's how I imagine I sound to people who don't know about things like Tekken or Yakuza.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Honestly, when you talk about Tekken, I'm just like, yeah. I have nothing to add.
I have nothing to add to this, yeah.
Planet runs out of energy. It and everything on it.
So where is this then?
We can over.
I mean,
The lush landscape.
the lush landscape looks like it could be. That looks like it could be near Medeal. It looks like it could be.
or-
It could be any other sort of area, sort of grassy
beaches, yeah.
area.
Yeah, I was just
I mean,
wondering.
Medeal's the sort of thing that comes to mind initially seeing that.
It and everything on it dies.
We can overcome our fate.
Interesting. They didn't show Yuffie in this trailer,
Yes, they did.
did they?
Yuffie is in this trailer.
Okay, I missed her.
Yuffie was on the, when you saw the gold saucer and it looked
Oh,
into
right.
the carriage and the three girls were just like,
Oh, she was in
oh!
it. Yeah, you're right. Right. Cool. Okay, never mind. Ignore me.
Should we carry on?
Yeah.
Gloss over that, shall we? So this is...
I remember being so freaked out by that monster
Yeah.
when you see it in the original.
Okay, we're looking for Sephiroth. Think you can find him?
Oh,
Good old Cait Sith.
you see.
It's a Scot.
So you
Scottish person.
Yep.
The accent. Oh, nice.
Just having a look at this environment, seeing if it looks familiar.
This is... It's the bit... Isn't it like the like the mining cart bit? Do you know where you've got like the roller coaster type bit that you run up and down?
Oh, yes, that's on the way to Coral, that is.
Yeah.
So maybe it's that area.
Oh, are we going to get Barrett's Kitty Wallop?
Kitty Wallop, love the look of that.
Are we going to get Barrett's story, that line at Coral?
Quite possibly.
We will, won't we? Because that's how you end up at the gold saucer, isn't it?
Yeah, and to answer your question, quick man, like certainly in the original, Cait Sith was playable, and it looks like he's playable here based on what we're seeing. So
Right, let's carry
Let's
on.
carry
What
on.
is that thing in the background? There's a oh well, it's gone now. 'Cause there's a little yellow thing in the background. Just play and we'll see.
What are you
I
talking
don't know, maybe
about?
it's like it's sort of like
You
a.
can see your brother.
I'm loving the fact they've got the different chocobos in there.
As if you. What's up?
Segue!
Right, hang on a minute.
Sorry.
Right, so where is this? Is this Costa del Sol? Or is
but the
it
fact
the
he's in his shorts and stuff like that suggests it
Is
might
it the
be.
harbour where you get the boat? Where's that?
Junon.
Junon? Is it like Junon Harbour or
I'm just going
something?
to go back. So I have a look at this. I like the buggy. The buggy looks awesome.
As you
Yeah.
can see,
Oh, sorry.
as you can see, your brothers down there are having a little get together.
I mean, yeah. I mean, this.
It's Costa del Sol, isn't
It
it?
looks a bit like that.
Best chance of finding Sephiroth.
Yeah. I ask because I suspect there's soldiers suffering from cellular degradation.
So where is that then? Is that... So I thought, is that Medeal? I don't want to spoil too much. I need to be mindful that some people may not have played the original. Probably too late for that. But
I don't
I
remember
thought that was
anywhere
Medeal,
else.
but then Cloud is talking to the doctors. So
Yeah, I mean, of course, it could be later.
could be any time, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
This game does look amazing. I can't wait to play this. Although it'd be you playing it for the channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's carry on.
I mean, quick man, Costa del Sol is also a Final Fantasy VII location, but yes, same name.
Yeah.
I ask because I suspect there's soldiers suffering from cellular degradation.
Do not be deceived. You know the truth. Trust in me.
Ah, hang on. I
you-
think that could be Medeal, you know?
It might well be.
I think they rejigged something there
They
then.
might well do. I mean, the thing is that the way they're doing this, they are they've got the chance to rewrite it, haven't
Yeah.
they? And they have
Okay.
rewritten a couple of things.
So the fact that Cloud sees Sephiroth there, I think he must have a bit of a breakdown there.
May well be.
And then I think that is Medeal then.
And are you sure this isn't the Midgar Zolom? That looks like
Oh,
the fucking marshes. That does.
He comes out of the swamps.
And he
doesn't
does, and
Yeah.
that's a fucking snake. That is a huge fucking snake. That is the Midgar Zolom. I knew he was going to be in there somewhere.
That stuff, honestly. Do you guys remember, like those of you who played the original, how fucking terrified you were going across that patch of world map where the arrow was? It was basically, for those of you who haven't played the original, you would go across this little bit of the world map, and like as soon as you stepped onto the marsh area, like a grey arrow would just start aiming towards you, and then you'd end up in a fight where
It's a bloody snake shadow.
That's a fucking snake. Sherbs 2023.
Yes, that is a fucking snake, that is.
Yes, Sam, that is the Midgar Zolom, we think.
That's what it looked. I mean, look at that. Look at that. I knew this one was going to feature at some point.
I really hope that they keep it as like a really, really tough enemy when you first meet it.
Yep.
Then you go back and twat it later on. I really want that to be like that experience of being terrified coming across it to still be there.
It depends on how they actually do it, because if they do it in the same sort of chapter style, you may not have the chance to specifically go back. But if it's sort of like open world style, like obviously it would be at this point, you do have the chance to go back and then potentially beat the shit out of it.
Well, it is open world. I think so.
Is it?
Well, do you not remember? We haven't seen that much, but we've definitely seen open world shots where they're running around, and it looked like there was the system where they can call each other. What was it called?
The PHS system.
Yeah. And the end of one of the other trailers, you saw them sort of deciding which way to go, I think. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be open world elements.
It probably will be the elements. It's just whether like you're able to go back to old places in the same way.
I think it's going to be kind of like 12 was, where you've got open world areas. So like it's big areas that then lead into other big areas. But then eventually at some point, like by the third or fourth game, you will get an airship and some sort of overworld map.
Maybe,
where you can then go to different areas. But then I'm kind of like, well, how are they going to fit that? Are we going to have 3 discs for that? How is that all going to work?
Well, maybe.
I don't know.
One disc for part 1, 2 discs for part 2, maybe 3 discs for part 3.
Jesus, I would pay for that. I mean, I want that.
Anyway, the Midgar Zolom has been sat on our screen now.
Yeah,
let's carry on. We've still got like over about half this trailer, and that's I remember that bloody thing. I can't remember its name, but that's in bloody June, and when you first get there, and you're trying to save. Is that
the dolphin?
Priscilla. No, that's not dolphin. That's the bloody boss you get beforehand.
I know that's the boss, but are we doing the dolphin thing?
That'd be pretty cool.
Have they kept that in?
Well, it's certainly the area, and that so this is underneath June, and this is the lower part of June.
We're not going to have to do that whistle blowing with the dolphin, are we? Really?
Look at that.
Unless we just fight the.
There's Yuffie as well.
Yeah. Oh my god, Barrett just yeeted Yuffie.
Yep.
Oh, so Aerith and Cait Sith had a joint move. Cloud and Sephiroth.
In their sort of.
Oh, I know that boss. I remember that boss. And there was something interesting about that boss. What was it?
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that boss? And wasn't there like a very, very slim chance that he didn't appear? Or was it to do with an ability that you could learn? I remember trying to fight that boss multiple times for some reason.
Yes, he had a try and enemy skill ability in the original.
That was it.
Very few monsters in the original game had try.
4 enemies had it.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. And
interestingly, this looks to be taking place during the flashback.
Yeah, which
so
is
there's Cloud
different.
and Sephiroth, because that boss did not appear in the flashback.
No,
it
you
appeared
fought him
in
with
present
Barrett
day.
And Cloud and someone.
Whoever else you had. Well, whoever you had in your party at that point.
Yes,
I can't remember its bloody name, but yes, I remember that bloody boss. It's in Nibelheim, anyway, Mount Nibel.
Yeah, I can't remember what he was called, but I remember that he had Trine, and I remember I fought him.
Yes,
quite
that's
a bit.
the reason why, because he needed Trine from that boss.
Lissy's trying to find out how many organs she needs to sell for the collector's edition. Is Sephiroth a good guy or a bad guy, or a sort of not bad guy but still a rival guy?
I mean, it's spoilery. It's spoilery, but it's something you find out fairly early on. Let's put it that way.
I'm going to go with bad guy, right?
I mean, well, he is a bad guy. Yeah. Ultimately.
Yeah, I'm going to go with bad guy.
He is ultimately big bad guy.
Does he have any redeemable features?
I mean, he's not a bad guy all the way through.
Okay, yeah.
He doesn't start out this way. Let's put it that way.
He doesn't start out bad, but then he learns something that makes him kind of go, fuck it, you're all gonna die.
If I can't survive, then you're all coming with me, sort of thing. But it's not quite like that. Right, carry on. Sorry. We're still working our way through this. Still about minute 20 to go. That looks like a good sort of like combination boss you do in that flashback. That is Alexander. Fucking hell.
That was what I was trying to remember the name of. I was like, I recognize him. He's not a weapon.
No, that's a summon. Alexander's a summon. Yes, that is Alexander.
And then it's Odin, isn't it?
Odin's the next one that comes about.
Oh, no, hang on.
Who is that? Who is that?
Is it Fenrir?
Fenrir wasn't a summoning. There wasn't a Fenrir summoning.
Was there not?
Who is that?
You sure it's not Fenrir?
But that's Odin, for sure.
Or was it just Ifrit then?
Gold saucer once again.
Oh my god,
this is going to be so awesome. Chocobo Racing looks awesome. The beat 'em up looks amazing. The fact that they've got the minigame of this is amazing.
Excuse me.
This is obviously a big unknown because of the whole...
Oh, Zack's there!
Yeah,
oh my god, like,
exactly.
Sorry, like, just realised. So you've got Zack and Cloud.
This is the alternative timeline.
I think it must be. And you've got the chick from... So
And
this
that's
is back
Kyrie.
in... So this is back in
Midgar.
Sector 5
Sector
or 7 or 7.
Yeah, wherever. Depends on where we are. It could be 5 or 7. I mean, Kyrie was in Sector 5, and she was a remake character. She wasn't in the original that I remember.
She wasn't, no.
Yeah, exactly. So she was a new, sort of fairly annoying character, if I'm honest. But yes, Zack. Exactly,
Exactly.
Rockero. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, what are they doing with this?
They're doing a split.
What
They're doing two
are they
timelines,
doing this?
aren't
Yes,
they?
exactly.
I don't know what the devs have said, or like you guys probably read up on it more than we've managed to, but like I don't know at this point whether they're keeping the story as it is or whether they're going to go somewhere completely different with it. Personally, I don't really mind either way. I know some people who absolutely love FF7 would be like, no, they have to keep it the same. Like that's what a remake is. But for me, as long as they tell a damn good story, I don't mind what they do. They're taking inspiration and then like jumping off and giving us something new. I'm all for that.
Yeah, my personal view on it, I mean, like, I loved the original story. I see what they're doing, like in terms of obviously remake itself. They've obviously it's used the original base but done some different stuff with it and add some different factors, all that sort of different thing. I personally hope, whilst I'm all for like some differences and things like that, which I've obviously done. I just hope they don't fuck about with it too much.
You want to keep certain key story elements.
I want
there.
the base thing still recognizable, but with extra stuff sort of added, or maybe some slight variation and stuff like that. I hope they don't come along and change it like significantly to the point where it's mostly different. I hope the base is still there. And I think based on what we're seeing, I think they are.
Yeah.
But who knows?
I'm just really glad I've now finally played Crisis Core, because until recently, like I never played it back on the PSP, and then we played it like last year for the channel.
Early this year. Actually,
Early this year?
Yep.
On the channel. And I really love Zack as a character, and I'm also interested in, obviously, Yuffie's DLC went into the whole deep ground thing, and we've got Vice and Nero, and like, I'm just wondering if they're going to bring all that in. That would be quite cool. I really hope
they do, because that basically the deep ground stuff, that's Dirge Cerberus stuff, which is post original Final Fantasy VII. I've not played that one. That's one of the sort of few Final Fantasy VII things I've not played, and I love the fact they brought it in, and it made me think they've got to bring this into the main story as well. That'll be one of the sort of the extra bits they bring in. Who knows?
Welcome to anybody who's watching for the first time. We just like playing games and hanging out.
And we don't always get pissed.
We don't always get pissed, but
usually just on like a
nice.
stream.
But yeah,
if you like Kaz, she comes along and fills half the glass up with this shit. So
yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh bloody hell, that's strong." It's like, well, no bloody surprise there.
But we like Final Fantasy and Yakuza. What was our first Final Fantasy game? Mine was 9.
Mine was 7.
At the tender age of 11, I played Final Fantasy 9 and I was hooked. And fun fact, yesterday, Squish 1 played Final Fantasy 9 for the first time. First Final Fantasy game. She saw me playing 16 and she was like, I want to play 16, but I want to do it where I don't have to fight anything. And I was like, okay, 16 might be a little bit old for you because you're like only 6. So I was like, right, I'll reinstall Final Fantasy 9 on the PS5, and she started that last night. 13 is great, Quick Man. I mean, people really hated it when it first came out, but I think that's done quite well over time. 13-2, if you haven't played that, love 13-2.
13-2. I mean, out of the 3 of them, I mean, I never played the whole of Lightning Returns, effectively the 3rd installment of it. 13, I'm sort of just a bit like, about it. It wasn't like terrible, but it wasn't amazing in my eyes. 13-2, I actually quite enjoyed. I think that was my first, back in the day, like when we were actually filthy Xbox players. Apologies if anybody's Xbox, but we ended up going down the route of an Xbox for 360 and then went back to Sony.
The 360 had better RPGs. That's why I switched. I don't do the whole console war thing. I buy the console that has the games I want to play, and then it was the 360.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't enough on the
PS5.
It wasn't enough on the PlayStation 3 at the time, was there, for us to go down that route, which is more expensive and all that. But we went to Xbox for that. Final Fantasy 13-2 was my first one where I got all of the achievements, the equivalent of a platinum, basically. Anyway, we've been on pause. We still have another 50 seconds or so to go.
After my friend, just for a bit.
Okay, so what's happening?
So that was when Cloud was kind of. So who's this dude?
Who's that guy? Yeah, I'm trying to
He's
remember
a
that guy.
bearded fellow.
weapon. Here we go.
It's
Said only to appear when the planet is in grave danger.
a weapon. So is that
Yes.
emerald weapon then?
I don't know. I was trying to work out which one it was, but that's where they're learning about the weapons in general.
Can we go back to look at it? It didn't look like any of the weapons. I mean, she's in the live stream though. It's emerald, isn't it? Or is it? Can you go back a bit further?
Now,
Go back a bit
this
further?
is reminding me of something else, actually. So,
Oh, that shot of Tifa.
oh yeah. Anyway,
Shut up.
To deliver.
now the reason I'm sort of like, because in disc 2 of the original, there is a whole thing where a weapon attacks Junon
Yes.
quite early on. Now, I think that
is it the one that
now
gets nobbled?
basically gets the Junon cannon shooting it in the face at point blank range.
Yeah.
But I believe, because I was there wondering, is that like emerald weapon that once upon a time had a face and has lost its face because of that? Apparently, it actually is a different weapon called Sapphire Weapon.
Sapphire Weapon, yes.
Yeah,
I think that's Sapphire Weapon.
But you never
yeah.
actually fight Sapphire Weapon because I'm assuming the point blank shot from the Junon cannon kills it. But
Yes, so I think you're right because it doesn't look like any of the other ones. Yes, quick man, all the weapons are named after jewels apart from Ultima. Why is Tifa in the live stream? Can we just ask that question?
I have no idea.
Wait, is this the
The Who Am I section.
the Who Am I section then?
Oh, but then at the same time, you're hearing Red's voice telling us about weapons, so maybe it's something else.
I'm I'm trying to remember when everything happens now. Do they go to Mediel before or after the Junon cannon?
After. It's
Right.
after. Yeah, so, but then at the same time, they might have done something different, and this could be somewhere completely different.
I feel like this is very live streamy. It's the Who Am I thing, but then maybe not.
Maybe it's some stuff sort of like Northern Cave Part 1, and they could have done something different there, because I'm pretty sure that's where you first learn about the weapons in the first game.
Right.
'Cause I think like there's a moment where like in its, 32-bit graphical style, there's a moment where you're sort of standing there and suddenly an eye opens and you're like, fuck, what's that? It's like, it's a weapon.
Oh, look at his face. Sapphire doesn't look too...
This is assuming it is Sapphire, but...
I think you're right there.
Tutelary creatures, said only to appear when the planet is in grave danger.
Or it could be something completely different.
Who dares to
No.
Vincent!
No, they only appear when the planet's in grave danger. That was mentioned in the original about weapons.
That's the same. It's just how they're sort of describing it might be a bit different.
Look at Vincent.
I mean, that looks pretty awesome.
my slumber?
Who disturbs my slumber? It's us, mate. Hello.
It's upon us. The reunion.
Oh.
When worlds merge.
So this is...
I'm waiting.
That was the end.
Well, when
So-
worlds merge, I'll be waiting. And that was like the end of...
Oh. So we are doing two sort of separate timelines, aren't
It
we?
seems that way, yes. But there we
But
go.
when the worlds merge, so there's going to be one world at the end of it.
Indeed.
Just as long as it doesn't throw in a choice that we have to make.
Mm.
Like, I don't want to be forced to choose between... I want them to make a definite decision on the direction they want to take with it.
Yes. I mean, basically, I want it to be a case of like, okay, they might have a choice, but they make the choice without our involvement. Maybe.
So is this a sort of situation where 7 Remake is 7 Part 1 and Rebirth is 7 Part 2? That is exactly...
Pretty much it, yes.
That is exactly it, Quickman. Yes.
Exactly, yes. But obviously, like what they've done with Remake and what looks to be the case of Rebirth is they are playing around with it a bit and doing some different stuff, but using the original as a baseline.
Yeah.
So...
But then 7 Part 3 will have another R title.
Oh, yes.
probably.
Remake...
Resurrection? Maybe? Do you think Resurrection? Reckoning.
Could be something like that.
Think of good R titles. Resurrection would be... I wouldn't be that.
I have a theory as to what the Rebirth part is referring to, but I'm not going to say it here for the fear of spoilers for those who haven't seen it. That's all I'm going to say at this point. But I have a theory about it, but that's also based on like what I personally think is how much they're going to cover in this game and where they potentially could stop it. So I will leave it at that because I don't want to spoil for anything. We talked about this before. You're probably not remembering it.
I don't remember. You'll have to remind me.
I'll remind you afterwards.
Yeah.
That's fine.